Well, welcome to the 700 Club. The suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk is no longer talking to authorities. Tyler Robinson's family is telling investigators that he was radicalized into leftist politics.
In Washington, D.C., thousands came together last night at the Kennedy Center to pay tribute to Charlie Kirk's life and mission. Dale Hurd has the story.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox says authorities are not ready to discuss a motive in the killing of conservative activist and Christian Charlie Kirk, in part because suspect Tyler Robinson is not cooperating with investigators. Cox told CNN that Robinson's family says he'd been indoctrinated into a leftist ideology. He also confirmed reports that his roommate is cooperating, but knew nothing of the attack.
His roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. He is cooperating with authorities.
A capacity crowd filled the Kennedy Center Sunday night to honor Charlie Kirk. CBN News reporter Michelle London was there.
So many young people and students filling this room here at the Kennedy Center tonight to celebrate and pay tribute to a man they're calling a fearless defender of truth and a faithful man of God. There also was a call to action for all of us to continue walking boldly in our faith in Jesus Christ, carrying out Charlie's legacy, not to be overcome by evil, but overcoming evil with good.
We remember that our dear friend Charlie would never want us to be overcome by despair. He would want exactly the opposite.
The national debate over how this happened and what needs to be done continues, with many opinions. University of Chicago professor Robert Pape warns America is in the grip of a new violent populism, but more so on the left.
39% of Democrats say they agree that the use of force is justified to remove Donald Trump from the presidency. When we go deeper to probe, what do they mean by use of force? 55% are talking about assassinations. We found 24% of Republicans agree that Donald Trump is justified in using the U.S. military to suppress Democratic protesters.
Republican Senator James Langford blames the internet.
Social media is always pushing who's the angriest, who's the loudest, who says the craziest thing. That's what gets repeated over and over and over again.
In her first statement since her husband's murder, Erica Kirk said Charlie's mission will now be more powerful than ever before.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, in the book of Proverbs, it says, the memory of the righteous is a blessing. And my hope and my prayer is that the memory of Charlie Kirk would be a blessing for our country, that many would rise up to say, let's take up this standard. Let's be bold in our faith, bold in our proclamation, in spite of whatever opposition is facing us. Let's keep his memory alive. In other news, President Trump is calling on NATO nations to increase economic pressure on Russia. Ephraim Graham has that story and more from the CBN newsroom. Ephraim?
Gordon, the president posted on social media he's prepared to put heavy sanctions on Russia, but only if NATO nations stop buying Russian oil. He said Russia's war on Ukraine will end if every NATO nation cuts off Russian oil imports and puts heavy tariffs on China for its purchases of oil from Russia. Tensions in Europe are rising after Russia and Belarus launched military exercises over the weekend. Russia also challenged NATO countries by flying drones through their airspace. More than a dozen in Poland last week, and a single Russian drone flew through Romania over the weekend. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Israel today. He began his trip with a visit to the Western Wall. Speaking with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, they confirmed the U.S.-Israel relationship is solid. Secretary Rubio emphasized President Trump's priorities.
It needs to cease to exist as an armed element that can threaten the peace and security of the region. And the people of Gaza deserve a better future, but that better future cannot begin until Hamas is eliminated. That better future and that kind of peace is not even possible until the hostages are released, all of them, every single one.
In New York City Friday, the UN General Assembly voted 142 to 12 to pass a resolution declaring a Palestinian state. The Trump administration called the vote, quote, a gift for Hamas. After the vote, a number of Israeli ministers called for the annexation of Judea and Samaria. Gordon?
Well, it is a gift to Hamas. You're rewarding terrorist activity. But the history of the region is quite clear, and since 1948, the Palestinians have refused to create a state. They've been given multiple opportunities to do it, multiple peace agreements offered to them, the most recent being under President Clinton, where Clinton is now revealing all of the backroom politics and everything that was given to Yasser Arafat. And he's saying unequivocally, I gave Arafat everything he asked for. And still, there wasn't a peace agreement. And the reason is the ideology behind Hamas, the ideology behind the PLO, Popular Front, Hezbollah, Iran, all of them, they want to wipe Israel off the map. They're not going to come to peace, and any kind of recognition that there's a two-state solution, well, the Palestinians have to go along with that. They've always wanted a one-state solution, no Israel. And that has been their ideology from the beginning. And any international group, any European power, anyone in the U.S. Congress who says otherwise, well, you frankly don't know your history.